Dear student, welcome you all. Today's another class of OSPI. In our previous class, we will starting the different appliance used in surgical practice and not finish in this previous class. I will continue with this class, the appliance used in surgical practice. It is one of the station of OSPI out of 10 station. So it is an important topics and need uh, different preparation for a good score. Actually, the OSPI is the summary of whole things, but if you prepare this OSPI in a specific way, in a special way, then you will score a good number. So in our previous class, we will start with suture material. Today I will continue with this. So what is suture and what is suture materials? Suture is a stitch or series of stitches made to secure apposition of the edge of a surgical or traumatic wound. I think all of you know this, but for the basic concept, it is the suture. And what are the suture material? Suture material is an artificial fiber used to keep on together until they hold themselves by natural, which is synthesized and woven into a strong scare. Why you need suturing? What are the goal of suturing? What are the advantage of suturing? Wound is apposition. Without apposition, the wound may not heal or heal with a very scar or ugly scar tissue. So, for a cosmetic purpose or for the principle, one of the principle is to healing is the apposition of the wound is and provide adequate tension, maintain hemostasis, aid in wound healing, and also it help in wound healing, avoid wound infection, and produce aesthetically pleasing scar by approximating skin edge. So these are the goal of suturing or advantage of suturing. So it is very important, uh, especially surgical wound and even in traumatic wound. But some wound may not need suturing at the first time, but it suturing by secondary intention or by delayed primary intention, it is a different things. Suture material, though it is there are different suture material, but in human you not use this all the suture material. It's the human beings, the human beings we use the suture material for best benefit of the human being. So what are the characteristic of a ideal suture materials? That is easy to handle, predictable behavior in tissue. That means if the suture material not behave not sweet with the tissue, then it will not benefit for the patient, rather it is harmful to the patient. So predictable tensile strength, sterile, glide through tissue easily, secure knotting ability, and inexpensive, easy to handle. And others characteristic is minimal tissue reaction. If the suture is reaction is high, the reaction is more, it is not acceptable for human being. So it should be minimal tissue reaction, it should be non-capillary. This the capillary is the action is mobile action, the liquid pass through the solid material is the capillary action. So it should be non-capillary, non-allergenic, non-carcinogenic, non-electrolytic, and non-shrinkage. So these are the ideal or desired characteristic of suture material. So what are the characteristic of suture? This is the physical structure. Physical structure may be monofilament, may be multifilament. The monofilament may is the this suture material is smooth and tend to slide through tissue easily, difficult to knot, but it is difficult to knot as a monofilament suture, can be damaged by gripping it with needle holder or forceps that can lead to fracture of suture material. So these are the characteristic of the monofilament suture. But if it is multifilament, I show you later on the on picture what is monofilament, what is multifilament. And the multifilament is characteristic is the easy to knot, have a greater surface area than monofilament, have a capillary action where bacteria may lose and may responsible for persistent infection. The one of the disadvantage is the multifilament suture material is that have chance of bacterial infection is more. This material can be coated with silicone in order to make it smooth, as the multi-filament suture is not usually smooth and it can be coated with silicone. So make it more smooth for use. The another characteristics of the suture material is tensile strength. It can be expressed as the force required to break it when pulling the two ends apart. So this is the tensile strength when you force the two end by to break, and what are the strength may require to break it. So if the suture material is the diameter is smaller, the tensile strength is less. Then if the suture material is more, diameter is more, the tensile strength is more. And different type of diameter, different type of number of suture is used in different site according to their tissue characteristics. So this is the tensile strength, uh, and the tensile strength depend upon the constituent of suture material. The synthetic suture material, the tensile strength is less. The synthetic suture material tensile strength is more. Thickness of suture material, the more thickness of the suture material, more tensile strength is the more. And how it is handled in the tissue is also depend upon the uh, tensile strength. And another characteristics of the suture materials is absorbability. Suture material may be absorbable or non-absorbable. This property must be taken into consideration when choosing suture material for wound closure. Some area, some area, if the suture material retain is more time, it will be irritating for the patient, like oral mucosa, deep structure, suture material used in the buccal mucosa, suture material used in the circumcision, it will be more absorbable, readily absorbable. Because if not absorbable and it retain within the tissue is more time, it will be very irritant for the patient. So according to the site, according to the tissue structure, according to the characteristics of the tissue, we use different type of suture material in different area according to the need of patient. So another characteristics of the suture material is biological behavior. It depends upon the constituents of raw materials. This is also important characteristics of suture material. This picture show there are different needle. We use different type of needle for suturing. This needle are different type, different angulation, different size, for different purpose, different for easy use or easy suturing of the structure. Some suture may be 1/4 circle, some may be 3 8 circle, some may be half circle, some may be 5 to 8 circle, some may be J shape, some may be compound curves, and some may be straight. Straight may also use in as a needle. And the needle, according to classification of the needle, according to shape, it may be a straight, it may be a straight, it may be a straight, or it may be curved. According to the shape, it may be straight, it may be curved. According to eye needle and eyeless. Eye needle, there is an eye that use for this needle is actually the separate needle and separate suture material. When we use this needle, this may be reusable needle. Usually this needle used previously for cost effectiveness. Nowadays it is almost obsolete. This eye needle, there is a suture material. The suture material is used through this eye and use this needle and reuse the needle according to need. But nowadays this needle is eyeless. There is no eye in the needle, and the suture material is attached with the needle, and it is not reusable, it is the disposable. So nowadays the eye needle is reduced, but even in upazila level hospital, you if after passing your MBBS, and when you join in government service, you can see this eye needle. But actually in our private practice, we are not using this eye needle. So according to eye needle, according to eye, this is maybe eye needle and eyeless needle. Another classification of the needle is according to cutting edge. This is also very important. It may be round body, maybe cutting body, where and it's also use whether where you use round body, where you use cutting body. In case of intra-abdominal structure, in case of intra-abdominal, we usually use round body. It is not traumatic, that not produce cutting the tissue. So in case of intra-abdominal structure suturing like gut anastomosis, we use this round body needle. And another is cutting body needle. This is actually round body, and another is cutting body. Cutting body needle is cut through the tissue for uh, it cut through the tissue for easy handling and easy passing, and actually it is used in tough structure like skin, fascia. When you use this needle, usually actually we use this actually skin suturing for cutting body needle. And another is reverse cutting. If you look at this shape, this is the difference between the conventional cutting needle and reverse cutting needle. Actually the reverse cutting needle that reduce this cutting tissue by the conventional needle is reduced by the reverse cutting needle, and it is beneficial than the conventional cutting needle. According to its tip, it may be triangular, round, or blunt. So what are the classification of suture material? What are the suture material we use? Actually, according to source, according to structure, according to source, we classify suture material by natural, synthetic, and metallic. And according to structure, it may be monofilament, it may be multi-filament. So the natural means that came through natural sources, and the synthetic, that is usually produced in the synthetic material in within the laboratory. So according to fate, and the according to fate, the suture material also classified as absorbable and non-absorbable. Absorbable, that is absorbed within the tissue at a favorable time, at a limit, at a time, and it depends upon the characteristic of suture material when it absorbed. But sometimes in suturing of the body need the suture material for permanent time, and in this case it is called non-absorbable suture. This non-absorbable suture retain within the tissue in unlimited period, so it is called non-absorbable suture. And another classification of the suture material is according to coating. That means some suture material are coated and some are uncoated. To reduce the uh, in case of usually in case of multifilament suture, we are coated to increase the smoothness and easy passing through the tissue. So what are the natural suture material? The natural suture material may be absorbable, may be non-absorbable. The absorbable suture material are catgut, chromic catgut. When the catgut reacted with the chromic acid, that is called chromic catgut. By this reaction, the catgut, the longevity, tensile strength, and the tissue remaining time is increased by chromic catgut. And another observable suture, collagen fasciolata beef tendon. Actually, it is not used nowadays. The commonly used absorbable natural suture material are catgut and chromic catgut. The natural uh, actually this catgut arise from the sheep submucosa, and so it is a natural source. As it came from natural source, we called it natural absorbable suture material. The another suture material is non-absorbable suture material, that is silk, and it came from silkworm larva of a silkworm, and it is also came from natural source. So this is called natural non-absorbable suture, and this suture material is retained within the tissue for unlimited period. That is why it is called non-absorbable suture material. So the synthetic suture material, the synthetic suture material is nowadays the increasing the use of the synthetic, that is the property of the natural suture material is increased, and the synthetic suture material, the benefit of the patient is more, so that nowadays actually increasing the use of synthetic material uh, is increasing nowadays. So what are the synthetic materials? Synthetic absorbable may be polyglycolic acid, polylactic acid, polyglactin, or vicryl. It is the most commonly used absorbable suture nowadays in surgical practice. And polydiagonone, the PDS suture, it is also used commonly nowadays in our surgical practice. And the synthetic non-absorbable suture is the nylon or polyamide and polypropylene. The polypropylene or proline, this is the most commonly used non-absorbable synthetic sutural in our surgical practice. And another one is polyester, polyethylene. This is also is nowadays it is used is limited. So this is the picture we show that what is the monofilament and what is the multifilament. Actually, the monofilament, that means the one thread. The multifilament, this is the multiple filament, multiple thread. So as there is multiple thread, that is called multifilament, and as this is the single thread, this is called uh, monofilament suture. So we already discussed about the advantage and disadvantage of the monofilament and multifilament. There are some benefit from monofilament and some uh, benefit from the multifilament. So what are the monofilament? Monofilament may be the absorbable, maybe catgut, chromic catgut, vicryl or PDS. Non-absorbable may be polypropylene, polyester, nylon, etc. So this may be monofilament, maybe multifilament. By vicryl may be multifilament, polyglycolic acid may be multifilament. Non-absorbable multifilament may be silk, cotton, linen. These are the multifilament suture material. So what are the difference and what are the uh, benefit or compare to monofilament and multifilament? Monofilament suture has no capillary action. The capillary action means uh, permit the liquid to drain out. It is an action by capillary. This is called capillary action, and there is no capillary action on the monofilament, but there is capillary action of the capillary action on the multifilament suture material. And the monofilament has less infection risk, but multifilament increase infection risk as there is a filament, multiple thread, and the bacteria can lodge within the multifilament and can increase the infection rate. The another is the smooth tissue passage of the monofilament is a smooth tissue passage, but multifilament has less smooth passage. To increase the smoothness of the multifilament, sometimes coated with silicone that already we mentioned. And the another is higher tensile strength. The tensile strength of monofilament is more than the tensile strength is of the multifilament. And the thread knot is more secured in the multifilament than the monofilament. So these are the difference between the monofilament and multifilament suture material. And what are the difference between absorbable versus non-absorbable suture material? Absorbable suture material degraded by enzyme hydrolysis or phagocytosis, but in non-absorbable suture material, it is not absorbed, but it encapsulated or walled up by fibrosis within the tissue and retained in unlimited period. So, in absorbable suture material used to hold the edge in approximation temporarily until the wound is healed. Until the wound is healed. So, actually, in case of gut anastomosis, like example, in case of gut anastomosis, we use this suture material to help these two A's to hold these two A's for uh, approximation for healing. But after healing, this suture material is no need further to retain within the gut. Rather, it may absorb. If it is retained within the gut, there may be some sorts of problem. So, in case of this situation, we use this absorbable suture material for temporary apposition. But sometimes, in case of non-absorbable, used to suture at site where tensile strain need to be maintained, like an hernia repair. In case of hernia repair, we are strengthening the wall of the abdominal wall. For this purpose, we need the suture material for a unlimited period to maintain the tensile strength of the tissue. So in this case, we use non-absorbable suture. So what suture we use in our tissue, it depends upon the what purpose we use this suture material. So according to the purpose, we use whether we need absorbable suture or whether we need non-absorbable suture. So what are the selection criteria of the suture material? Selection criteria of suture material depends upon the condition of the wound, tissue to be repaired, tensile strain, not holding characteristic, reaction of surrounding tissue. That means condition of the wound. Sometimes if there is need to close the skin only, So we, in this case, we use non-absorbable suture material, but in case of gut anastomosis, we use absorbable suture material. In case of infected wound, usually in case of infected wound, if we need, if we require suturing, in this case we prefer uh, synthetic suture matter, synthetic non-absorbent material rather than natural non-absorbent material, because the seal can produce, seal can cause, promote the infection more than the other synthetic material like proline. Tissue to be repaired, according to tissue, where we tissue repair we use. So according to tissue, like that skin we use non-absorbable suture, like gut we use absorbable suture. Tensile strength, whether we need tensile strength for indefinite period, like hernia repair we use absorbable suture method. Like blood vessel anastomosis, we need a tensile strength for indefinite period. In this case we use non-absorbable synthetic material. Not holding characteristics, the not characteristic is the some suture material not produce secured knot than others over others, whether knotting is more important. In this case we use this suture material, and reaction of surrounding tissue, and some synthetic materials reaction of the surrounding tissue is less than the natural suture. So in this the use of synthetic suture material is increasing, and the non natural suture material, using of natural suture material is decreasing. So according to the condition, according to the wound, according to the site, according to the purpose, according to the reaction, we use different suture material in different site for different purpose. So now we want to discuss about the commonly used suture material in our surgical practice. One of the most common suture material used in surgical practice is polypropylene, that is known as Prolene. So it is a synthetic non-absorbable monofilament suture material and polymer of propylene. It is the synthetic material, and it is also non-absorbable, and it is also monofilament suture material, and it is one of the common use suture material used in general surgery, plastic surgery, cardiovascular surgery, skin closure. So where we use in general surgery, the in our general surgery we use propylene is more commonly is in the skin closure. We use Prolene for hernia repair. We use Prolene for vascular repair. So we also use Prolene for mass closure of the abdominal wound. Also in case, actually in case of emergency cessation, we use this Prolene in general surgery, and other discipline also use, and it is one of the most commonly used suture material. So this picture shows the Prolene, and we already discussed in our previous class what are the characteristics of the suture metal, what name, the needle, the size of the diameter, the needle size, whether it is cutting or whether it is round body even cutting. This is the triangular, if it is round it is the rounded shape, and it is the date expired, the company name also very important. So what are the advantage of the Prolene or polypropylene suture? Advantage: would not lose tensile strain over time. That means it is an non-absorbable suture and it remain is tensile strain for indefinite period. So it not lose its tensile strength over time. Tensile strength means the time, means the strength required to pressure on two end, what are when the tissue is broken. So it remain within the tissue for indefinite period and good not security. and also the Pauline good knot security, very little tissue reaction, and tissue reaction is less. So previously we commonly use silk in our skin closure, and nowadays it replaced by Pauline, as the is less tissue reaction is less, and that is why the infection rate is less and high plasticity. The disadvantage is stays when pulled and loosen when edema subside, and another disadvantage is loosen when edema subside. These are the disadvantages of the Pauline or polypropylene. The another common suture material used in our surgical practice is silk. It is natural, non-absorbable, multi-filament suture material. It is actually natural, came from silkworm, and it is non-absorbable suture material, and it is also multi-filament filament suture material. So it actually made from the silkworm larva. So it used in ophthalmic surgery, general surgery, plastic surgery. Actually, the silk is used by skin closure nowadays. Sometimes in previously some intraoperative, especially the biliary surgery, the closure of the cystic duct sometimes used in previously. Nowadays, it replaced by uh, absorbable suture material, as the silk is natural and the tissue reaction is more. So nowadays within the intra-abdominal structure suturing used in intra-abdominal suturing is decreasing nowadays. So what are the advantage of the silk is easy of handling, good knot security as it is multi-filament suture material, and the important is cost effective. Even it is used in our government hospital for cost effectiveness. Uh, though in private hospital the use of silk is decreasing, and the disadvantage is very reactive, so it is decreasing the use and cannot be used in presence of infection. Within in presence of infection we cannot use this silk. So the another commonly used suture material is the vicryl. Vicryl is one of the common absorbable synthetic suture material used in our surgical practice, and it replace the catgut, and some area replace the silk. So it is the monofilament, maybe multifilament, maybe coated, maybe uncoated. So it may monofilament, may multifilament, may coated, may uncoated. So it is very important and commonly used nowadays, available in purple color or undyed. Undyed is actually white color, and when it is colored it is actually the purple color. Use intraoral suturing, every intra-abdominal suturing, where we use absorbable suture, we can use the vicryl. So in case of gut anastomosis, vascular ligature, ophthalmic surgery, superficial soft tissue approximation of skin and mucosa, subcutaneous suturing, intradermal suturing, we can use vicryl. What are the advantage of the vicryl? Is the minimal tissue reactivity, can be used in infected tissue, stronger than gut, retain stain in 3 weeks. So it is very important. And the disadvantage is it, in case of prolonged approximation cannot be used. Whether we need more indefinite time for tensile stain, we cannot use the vicryl. And delayed absorption and increased inflammation. Due to delayed absorption, it it encourages inflammation, and the inflammation is increased for this property. So another commonly used suture material, though not common like others food like silk, vicryl, Pauline, and but it is also used in our surgical practice. It is the polymer of glycolic acid, and braided, synthetic and absorbable suture material broken down by enzyme, and both PGA and Dexone have increased tissue drag and good knot security. Both are stronger than gut. So we can use Dexone as a parallel to the Vicryl. We can use synthetic absorbable suture where we use the Vicryl suture. So this is all about the suture material. The question may be like that way. Yeah, question may be like that way to give you a picture of suture material. Maybe a picture of suture material. So the identify the suture material, whether it is absorbable or non-absorbable, whether it what are the use of its suture material, like that. What are the advantages? What are the characteristics of ideal suture material? What are the disadvantages of the suture material, uh, uh, like that way the question may be like that way. So I think all about the suture material, and if any question in your OSPI on suture material, you can answer. So another important appliance used in surgical practice, though it is not, though nowadays the laparoscopic surgery is increasing day by day, and it is also in some district level. So I think you may find a appliance like this way, the trocar and cannula of the laparoscopic surgery. This is actually the 10 millimeter, and another one is the 5 millimeter trocar and cannula used to laparoscopic surgery for port, introduction of the port. The there is another picture. It is actually the optical port, and this is the metallic port, and this is the optical port. The advantage of the optical port is 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 that we can introduce the trocar within the tissue by seeing this within the camera, whether we in the skin level, whether within the subcutaneous level, whether we in the muscular level, whether we in within the peritoneum, or whether we enter into the abdomen, we can see this optical trocar by camera, and we can it reduce the inter-abdominal injury by introduction of the trocar and cannula. But it is little bit expensive, and it is disposable. That's why the use of optical trocar is limited in our country, though it is used in our country, but it is limited as this very much expensive, and patient of our country is not afford such expensive trocar. So usually we use this metallic trocar, and it is reusable. So this picture showing a common operation, that is laparoscopic cholecystectomy. Actually, the laparoscopic cholecystectomy is the gold standard procedure. This is the uh, one of the commonest operation done by general surgeon in their private practice, and also in hospital practice. So it is actually the laparoscopic cholecystectomy, though it is a gold standard operation, and nowadays I think every district level the surgeon doing this laparoscopic cholecystectomy. But due to some unconsciousness, or due to some myth, nowadays even yet it is not a common procedure in our country, because the open cholecystectomy even more than the laparoscopic cholecystectomy. And I think it is very unfortunate for patient. They are not aware about this laparoscopic cholecystectomy. The laparoscopic cholecystectomy actually the gold standard procedure of the gallstone disease, and this is the classical four port laparoscopic cholecystectomy, in where one port in the epigastrium and another 10 millimeter port, and the another 10 millimeter port around the umbilical. Someone prefer infraumbilical, someone prefer supraumbilical, and someone prefer intraumbilical port. But and the another port is the subcostal at mid clavicular line. This is actually for surgeon to grasping the Hartmann procedure. And the umbilical port actually the camera port, and the epigastrium port actually it is the clip applicator and dissecting port. It is surgeon right hand port. And we remove this we use this port also to remove the gallbladder, and some prefer to remove this gallbladder on the umbilical port. And the another is the anterior axillary line near at the level of the umbilical port, or someone may prefer to below this umbilical port. So it is the grasping forceps for gallbladder fundus retractor for assistant. So these are the classical four-port laparoscopic surgery. The question may be like that: what are the identify the instrument? What are the uh, what are the operation can be done by laparoscopy? Laparoscopically, the nowadays most of the abdominal surgery can be done by laparoscopy, uh, like cholecystectomy, appendicectomy, hernia, ventral hernia, inguinal hernia, even advanced case like right hemicolectomy, rectal anterior resection, rectal cancer. We can do it by laparoscopically. Though though in developed country, even the Whipple's procedure can be done by laparoscopy. But I think uh, day come we day came come will we do this laparoscopically. And gastroenterology also can be done by laparoscopically. And the question may be like that: what are the advantage of the laparoscopic surgery over open surgery? The advantage of minimal access surgery is actually the decrease in wound size, very important. Reduction in wound infection and dehiscence, bleeding, herniation, nerve entrapment, decrease in wound pain, improve mobility, decrease wound trauma, decrease heat loss, improve vision. So these are the advantage of the minimal accessory. Every time we want to uh, upgrade ourselves to minimizing the uncomfortness of the patient, we every time we think about the benefit of the patient, the benefit of the human being, the benefit of the human uh, uh, human beings surgery. So every times we think that to reduce the pain, mobility, and increase and early recovery for working, early recovery and early working. So every time we think about the we reduce the patient morbidity and increase the patient comfortness. So that's why this is the principle of the minimal access surgery. So what are the advantages? May question may be like that: what are the advantages of minimal access surgery? Though I elaborate some things for your understanding, but in your OSPI you should answer in short, should be answer in word, not in sentence. So in case of OSPI, you hurry up to answer the question, and you hurry up to answer the question like a word, not in sentence. So another appliance is the colostomy bag. This is the colostomy bag. This is the part of the colostomy bag. This part is called wafer, and this is the container where the uh, fecal material or urine material are collected here. And this is the vent for removal of the stool material. And this is the two part actually, sometimes one part colostomy bag. Actually this two piece type is stool collection bag and connecting port. This is the connecting port, and this structure is this is the this structure is within the attached with the body wall, and this is the collection bed, this is the stool vent closure, and this is the closure device or clip, and this one piece type and this two piece type. In our country we use usually two piece type, but in case of urine collection bag, in at this case one bag is one collection one piece type is enough. So this another picture of the colostomy bag where attached with the patient body, and this is the colostomy, and this is the different type of colostomy. Actually the colostomy may be temporary, may be permanent. Colostomy may be loop, may be end, may be double barrel. So colostomy may be according to the purpose, it may be permanent, it may be temporarily. Sometimes we divert the colon for temporarily to secure the anastomosis or to reduce the load of the anastomosis. We can divert the colon. In this case it is temporary, for the temporary purpose, but sometimes we need, like abdominoperineal resection, the low rectal cancer, anal cancer. In this case we cannot retain the rectum. So in this case we permanently close the annals. In this case we done a permanent colostomy on the abdomen, and patient can work with this colostomy bag, and with this colostomy bag, and this not removable. But sometimes in case of middle and high rectal cancer, if we if the clear margin, we can retain the clear margin is at least 2 centimeter. In this case we can retain the rectum, and uh, but in case we temporary ileostomy done for secure the anastomosis. In this case this anastomosis, this ileostomy is a loop ileostomy. Just one loop is brought out through the abdominal wall, and we use this temporary ileostomy is closed after 2 to 3 months. So this is temporary colostomy, and it is permanent colostomy. And thus temporary colostomy, another example like that with ileal perforation and another tubercular perforation on others perforation. If the contamination is more contaminated area, if the abdominal contamination is more, if we think that it is not secure to anastomosis, in this case we can divert the anastomosis by loop ileostomy. Sometimes in case of perforation we can brought both end, this is the loop ileostomy, this is the loop ileostomy. Sometimes we can brought we can sometimes a patient with carcinoma cecum, we do right hemicolectomy, but we think that the anastomosis is not secured, the contamination is more, and patient condition is not favorable. In this case we can brought out both colostomy and ileostomy, both can brought out through the abdominal wall, and this is called double barrel colostomy or ileostomy, and this is called double barrel. But if we brought out a loop, this is called loop ileostomy. But in case sometimes we need whole colectomy, some disease may require multiple polyposis coli. In this case, and it is the 100% turn to malignancy, that's case we can remove the whole colon, and in this case we can end by end ileostomy. We can retain the patient defecation by end ileostomy. So this is an end ileostomy. So according to the purpose we can divide the colostomy like permanent or temporary, and according to the type of the colostomy we can divide is end colostomy, loop colostomy, or double barrel. So another appliance we use in our surgical practice is the endotracheal tube. Actually where we use endotracheal tube, This is the different part of endotracheal tube. This is the most important cuff and the vocal cord guide, and this is the balloon. For this balloon is inflated the cuff and retained within the vocal cord, and this is the PVC tubing, and different size we use in different age group. And this is actually this is the laryngoscope. We use this laryngoscope to introduce this endotracheal tube through larynx, and this for the general anesthesia. We use this endotracheal tube for general anesthesia. For general anesthesia, and another, we if patient need patient need ventilation, ventilatory support. In this case, we uh, use this endotracheal tube. So another commonly used drainage tube in our surgical practice is chest drainage catheter. Chest drainage catheter, actually it is the water seal drainage system. This is the back of the catheter. This is the back of the catheter, and this is the chest drain, and this actually show this is the lungs, both lungs showing, and this is the chest drain, and this drain is under water seal, or that is the drain is under water. So for underwater seal drainage, so this is called underwater seal drainage. And where we use this drainage in the angle of triangle. Angle of triangle, it means the lateral border of the pectoralis major, the anterior border of the latissimus dorsi, and the fifth rib. This is the angle of triangle of triangle, and this is the angle of safety. This is actually angle of safety. If we introduce this test tube through this angle, it is not so harmful for the patient. That is called angle of safety. We introduce the test tube through this area. So what is water seal drainage? Water seal drainage system is a closed chest drainage system used to allow air and fluid to escape from the pleural space with ease exhalation, and to prevent their return flow with ease inhalation. Look at this picture. There is air is in if air is exhaled through this tube within the water, but during inspiration it is not possible to going through this area, because this air is already gone through the underwater. So this is the principle of the water seal drainage. Water seal means that the water in the bottle seals up the atmospheric air, thus prevent the entering of air or fluid back into the pleural space. This is the principle. So where we use water seal? Traumatic pneumothorax. Traumatic pneumothorax. In case of pneumothorax, traumatic pneumothorax, maybe iatrogenic pneumothorax, maybe spontaneous pneumothorax. So if there is tension pneumothorax, if you diagnose the tension pneumothorax, if you introduce a intercostal tube at the second intercostal space mid clavicular line immediately. But after that, for definitive treatment, you send the patient to OT for underwater seal drainage to expansion of the lung. So it is used in traumatic pneumothorax, spontaneous pneumothorax, iatrogenic pneumothorax, hemothorax, bronchopleural fistula, emphysema, malignancy, pleural effusion, thoracic or thoracoabdominal surgery. Even in case of malignancy, we use pleurodesis by this chest tube drainage. So what are the purpose of the water seal drainage? The purpose is to permit drainage of air and fluid from the pleural cavity to establish normal negative pressure in the pleural cavity for lung expansion, to equalize pressure on both sides of the thoracic cavity, to provide continuous suction, to prevent tension pneumothorax. So there are some important things you must know for water seal drainage. The water seal drainage should be kept under the level of the patient position. Should be kept under the level of the patient position. Never it upward. It always be in the under the patient position. And there is a key within the chest tube. There is a key within there is a key within the tube, and this key should be open all the time, but it close when patient goes for maturation or defecation. When there is an urge for maturation or defecation, or when patient need to work, this maybe this should be closed by this key. But remember that after returning from the defecation or urination, you must open it, and it is very commonly mistake. The patient close this key, but not open it. He forgot the opening of the key. So it is very important. The another important is postoperative management. Another postoperative management is to check up the condition of the lung by serial X-ray test, to check up the patient condition, to check up the swinging of the chest tube, and also very important is to give patient the very painkiller. There is no should be pain management should be must be managed by adequate painkiller, and also to prevent infection by adequate antibiotic. So these are the very important things to maintain to prevent infection by antibiotic, and to control pain by adequate painkiller. These are the very important, and also management of the chest tube drainage. So question may be like that: what are the identify the structure, what are the part of it, what are the use, what are the indication of the chest drainage, what are the management of the chest drainage, what are the complication of the chest. One of the complication is infection, pain, and fistula formation. Broncho pleural fistula formation is one of the common condition. And what are the uh, management, what are the postoperative management of the patient. Question may be like that way. So you should be you should know the everything about this. So today we will discuss will complete the different appliance of the surgical practice in our surgical ward, and it is also important for your OSPE. So this is the time limit session, and we will discuss about the other topics of the OSPE in our next class. Thank you very much.